Hola. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Woo. Tiki, want to scratch? Hola.
Hola. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
Some of you will remember back in SSL 364 when this catamaran ran up on the reef here in Turtle Key, Panama. Very unfortunate day for the boat, but just to get this shot I had to walk quite a ways down the coast through some pretty dense brush and mangroves. As you can see looking down the coast, we are surrounded by nothing but miles and miles of jungle in virtually every direction surrounding this little marina that we're at, with no other signs of civilization in sight. Now granted, Panama is a rugged piece of coastline, but it sure is beautiful, so I have to admit to being a little bit shocked by what I found. All indicators show Panama to be a perfectly pristine piece of paradise. Or is it? Stick around this day as we find out.
Dude,
I got a war going on here with these alternators.
what's happened?
We have old Tanasai technology and they improved something in it lately. This is not old technology, this is new. They put this little thing in, so now I have to grab some part of this old one that doesn't work anymore to make the new one work with a old kind of regulator.
So it's like old cars, you got two, one doesn't work, you strap parts from it and fix the other one.
Exactly. I needed these two things from that one, which this one doesn't have anymore because they put this new thing on it.
Uh-huh.
So, there we go.
So you got everything you need in the second one, so that's good.
Yeah, just have to sand them and clean them a little bit.
The other one didn't work either, but that's why we keep them for spare parts.
Yeah.
You guys have heard this whole thing about spare parts before, right? You getting this is starting to become a common theme? This is why they call some of us sailors pack rats, because we never throw shit out. Something breaks, you replace it, whatever, you still keep the old part because you never know when you might use it. It might come in handy someday, like today. Heading into town, do some provisioning, getting ready for departing the marina tomorrow. Today being Saturday, tomorrow being Sunday, so it's our last day to pick up a few things and head off on the way back to San Blas, so that'll be cool. We're just on our way into, what town are we going to, Jesse?
Sabanitas.
Sabanitas. So we got all the crew on board, splitting a ride into town, and probably be about 2-3 hours. It's about an hour drive each way, so hopefully we get everything we need and back to the boat. And then we'll finish up our last minute stuff at the boat this afternoon and get ready for early morning departure. And here's where we are. Whenever we're someplace new, it's always interesting to strap yourself into a car and just go for a ride and see where you're at. But here in Panama, you gotta get used to one thing. There's a lot of random checkpoints as the officials here are working overtime to shut down the drug trade. This road we're on leading from the marina is the only one leading from the coast for about 10 miles each direction, so of course makes a great spot to intercept trafficking attempts. And as you'll see, these guys are serious. They are packing some major heat. To get to the shopping district from where we are at the marina is quite a long haul. It's about an hour-long drive each way. But along the way, it's surprising to see how sparsely populated this entire north coast of Panama actually is. We find a few smaller settlements scattered randomly along the way, but the first larger community we found was a small town called Portobello, which was set inside a small bay on the north coast of Panama. This port apparently is where all the gold was being exported back in the day, and subsequently is protected by 3 large forts, but we're going to come back and investigate those on a different day. So being that this ride cost us $120 US for 5 hours maximum, our time allowance for doing a major provisioning was not large, so we had to make the best of it. Coming into Sabanitas was quite a culture shock coming from where we've been living in the jungle for almost a week now. Here you can find all the amenities of home, from super large hardware centers to the mega shopping centers where you can get pretty much everything you're used to back home, but at better prices. Having said all that, the favorite places for me were still the roadside vendors where you could get the freshest fruits at the best prices anywhere. The most we spent here was $1 US for the biggest pineapple and about $5 US for a 20-pound bag of juice oranges. Why, what did he say?
$107. He's joking, but...
Pineapples, how much are the pineapples too?
I don't know, they look good though.
$1 para ti. Where did you come, my friend?
Canada.
Canada.
Beautiful Canada, more diversity of environment. Oh, people, cool.
Cool. Cold. Más frío.
Cold.
No English, so sorry.
No español, so. No siento. Algo es algo.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get at least 2 pineapple.
Two pineapple, $2.
2 pineapple, 2 avocado,
No,
and
four avocado.
I'll split whatever.
and a bag of oranges.
Mosquito?
No.
All right. Conservation, the pineapple. Yeah. To my friend, orange. $6.50, yeah?
I'm your good
$6.50.
friend. What's my price? I
To
need
my
that special
friend.
price. Special price, man.
No entiendo qué carajo dice, pero a good Canada, my friend, you sabes. He called him a dog.
Got them?
Oh, Canada.
You get the oranges?
Right here.
18. One moment, please. 19, 20. Para mí ha sido un honor
Gracias, amigo.
que ustedes hayan venido aquí. Que Dios los bendiga, manejen con cuidado y que nunca se lo olvide. Aquí tienen a un amigo
What he said.
español.
Back on property, the guys and I go on one last coconut hunt to top up our water bottles so we got lots in stock for our time away in the islands. Because even though there's lots of coconut trees in the Sandblast, the one thing you'll realize about life with the Kuna Indians in Sandblast Islands is they have certainly discovered the power of the almighty buck, and everything is a commodity for sale. We certainly do go out of our way to support the local economy, but in different ways. But after your first visit to the Sandblast Islands, you'll quickly realize that if there's something you want to have on board when you're there, you better bring it there, because you won't find it there.
Jackpot right there. Holy crap. I've never seen so much coconuts on one tree. You guys ready? You gonna try and shake them out?
They're on there. They're very strong. New addition to boat plants?
Yeah, no kidding. That'd be cool on board, eh, if we had room for a coconut tree.
Well, you have room.
It's already got a root, look.
Nice
Very
tap
cool.
root.
So that's just an old shell, falls to the ground, and starts sprouting new plants. Very cool.
Grow tall, little one. Hi.
Hey, where are you going with our nuts?
So while the guys finished cracking coconuts, I figured I'd take one last walk down the beach and just film some really nice nature scenes, because as you guys know, I kind of like that sort of thing. Didn't get too far down the beach before I came across this old abandoned house, which on second look really didn't look so old, but was definitely abandoned. We asked some of the locals about it, but apparently this is a common thing around Panama. There's a lot of houses just abandoned like this, apparently, as rumor has it, from the drug days. Sounds like some of the ones that may have been on the wrong side got invited to leave in a hurry, and so they did. They left everything and just disappeared, and leaving the houses here just to succumb to nature. Quite a shame really, because I'm sure in its prime this house was beautiful, especially given this location and the view of the beach. I can only imagine that this swing on the front step was somebody's favorite spot to just sit and watch this beautiful view. That was a very nice way to spend a few minutes, and then it was back to the trail. And it wasn't too much further down the path, and I ran into an area of like sea moss with what almost seemed to be like sinkholes. You had to watch where you were stepping because it was really soft, so I was paying extra careful attention as I walked through here. And then I started to notice a dramatic difference in the presence of one thing: plastic. It was everywhere. Now I know some of you will look at this and think, wow, I can't believe people in Panama just throw all their garbage on the beach. But I can assure you this garbage is not from Panama, but it certainly has landed in Panama. As we explored more and more of this coastline, we found the same thing. And you might remember my buddy's reference to Panama as
the asshole of the Caribbean.
But I can assure you that was in no way meant to be derogatory of Panama. It was merely a comedic reference to its geographical location. To illustrate to you what in fact is happening here, I'm going to take you over to our PredictWind software. A lot of you are always asking what I use for weather forecasting. I used to use a lot of different websites, but lately I've boiled it down to one that I focus on mostly, which is the Offshore app by PredictWind.com. I found this app particularly useful because you can download up-to-date grid files for anywhere in the world in real time. You can do your weather routing, departure planning, spot forecasts. It comes with text forecasts, or even live satellite imagery if you want to load that in. You can do it in color or black and white, which is kind of cool. You can see exactly what's going on at any given time. It also has GPS tracking, which is locked to our Iridium Go satellite transmitter on board, so that whenever we're moving, it's recording our course. So you can see over here, this is where we installed the Iridium over in Aruba, and then we took our course down through Colombia and into San Blas and Panama, and then on up from there. This area here is where we are right now in this video. So this is the north coast of Panama, and right there where you see our multiple stops, that's Turtle Key Marina, so that's exactly where we were filming this video. Now the problem with this area, if you look at its geographical location, we'll switch over to ocean data. So we'll zoom in here a little bit, and you can see that there's a very strong current over here coming in off the Atlantic straight up the northeast coast of South America. It's coming across Brazil, Venezuela, and then on through the Caribbean. It dissipates a little bit there, as you can see, but then it comes back together and comes around the ABC Islands and then down the coast of Colombia. As we zoom back in over towards Panama here, we start to see the bigger picture of what's actually happening. So as you can see, it kind of stalls out around here as it turns north and heads up towards the Gulf Stream. Down here you get these two big gyres of countercurrent. If we turn on the animation, you can see much more obviously. We've got a big counterclockwise here and a clockwise one here. And if we zoom in on that, you can see that as the current comes around Bocas del Toro and up towards Colón, and then heads north. As the other current comes around, it comes in from the east towards Colón, and then the two currents converge at this point right here and come straight back out to sea. Well, as you can see by the color here on the chart, this is very, very low amount of current, so it kind of stalls out here, and this is where all the garbage is going to accumulate and wait for something to move it. And now as we come back in and zoom in on our wind chart, we can see what's actually happening that's causing the debris to go ashore. These are the easterly trades that come out of the Caribbean. They're heading all the way west, all the way here, but you can see how they slowly start to bend around the coast of Colombia and head straight for this tip of Panama. You see that? So as the currents that you saw in the previous diagram are pushing all the debris up into here, the wind is pushing it straight back and washing it right up on this coast of Panama, right there. So just imagine, even for a minute, that this entire coastline is becoming a garbage dump for plastic waste of the world. You can't degrade it, you can't dissolve it, you can't burn it. Well, you could burn it, but then you release all the toxic gases straight into the air you're breathing, and that's not such a great idea either. But you know, I think it's safe to say that we all had a hand in this. Not that we're all just literally throwing garbage in the ocean, but we are consciously deciding to continue buying products packaged in plastic. Now, it's just my humble opinion, but if this is ever going to change, it's only going to be because we force manufacturers to stop producing these products in the first place. There are plenty of biodegradable options, albeit more expensive, but certainly are going to be better long term. And I think it's time we all start thinking about that the next time we're shopping. You and you alone have the ability to change this, so next time you're looking at something packaged in plastic, well, if there's a better option sitting beside it, even if it's a bit more expensive, then maybe that's where you should be putting your money. So I'll leave that one in your hands and look forward to your comments and suggestions below. Thanks again for watching, everybody. You know I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Stay safe, and I'll see you out there. Well, so far we're having a good sail. Very nice day on the water. And the wind is, you know, we're not getting a lot of wind, maybe an average of 10, 12 knots. So we're still kind of motor sailing, but it's really nice. It's a very calm day out here. There's no big choppy waves or anything. There's just some big swells, but they're very far apart. But you can see we're still under full sail. Got the full main and the jib up. And we're averaging 6.5 knots, which is nice. Sometimes we get a little breeze comes up and we hit around 7.5. So that's cool. But it looks like we may have a little bit of weather coming. Just tracking that right now.
You can see the coast of Panama right over there behind me. So we're just running the coast, maybe 3 miles offshore. But you can see where it starts to dim out right there. And then of course over here. And that's kind of what's headed straight for us. So, just wondering what that might bring. Looks like we might get some showers.